Hello, everybody. We're going to have an early chat with Al tonight, and hope everyone's doing well. It's going to be more of a chat and call. We will have the Anthony Joshua Francis Ngannou fight. I will give my little play-by-play of what blow-by-blow what's going on in each round. Scheduled for 10 rounds. Could be interesting. The co-main event is over. Joseph Parker defeated Zhang, the big Chinese heavyweight. Parker did get knocked down twice, but I did see Parker winning it as Zhang pretty much didn't do anything else in the fight. Zhang is very heavy-handed, but other than if you walk into a big punch by Zhang, you can outbox him. And Joseph Parker, what a comeback he's had. A beautiful win for Joseph Parker. Again, Parker was down twice. That was the co-main event. We're waiting for the fight that we will have a little chat, and I'll give you the blow-by-blow description. Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou from Saudi Arabia, 10 rounds, heavyweights. Ngannou lost a majority decision to Tyson Fury in his first professional bout. In fact, Tyson Fury is there in Saudi right next to Eddie Hearn. This is hilarious. These two men do not like each other. Eddie Hearn's a boxing promoter, if you're unaware of that. And Tyson Fury is promoted by Bob Arum. So opposite boxing promoters. Eddie Hearn now talking probably about the upcoming fight and what's going on in his promotions. Eddie Hearn has Anthony Joshua. Francis Ngannou, he's making a lot of money for 2 professional boxing matches. He does show power. He did drop Tyson Fury in their bout. I thought it was a draw. Fury won a majority decision. So Ngannou has a record of 0-1. I thought pretty much both fighters didn't do much of anything after the first 5 rounds. But Ngannou does have power. Let's see if he's learned a little more. Now, Tyson Fury can move. Anthony Joshua, gold medal winner, also can box, but he has a habit of freezing up if you hit him and getting frustrated. So this could be a very interesting fight. A lot's on the line here. A lot is on the line here for Anthony Joshua. I mean, imagine if he loses to Francis Ngannou. Again, I thought at worst Ngannou had a draw with Tyson Fury. Remember, he dropped Tyson Fury. Now, a knockdown doesn't always help you win the fight, but Ngannou did surprise me in the Fury fight that he stood up to Fury's solid shots. And Fury, when he did throw some effective punches, did catch Ngannou quite solid. We have a couple of people here already. Brian Hoxie, I'd like to say hello to. And Jim L., hope all is well. So I'll go to the chat in between rounds as we will be calling the fight. And this should be a lot of fun. Let's actually do this, which might make this easier. Oh, yeah, that makes that much easier. All right, so that's what we're going to do here. This is an interesting fight to me. This is a pay-per-view, but I have the zone, so I picked it up anyway. It's strange that there's a big fight this early on a Friday. I came home from work, ordered the fight. I watched the English fighter get screwed. He beat them. It was for the featherweight title. I can't remember their names, but he scored 2 knockdowns, and I honestly thought he won the fight. He didn't get the decision. It was a draw. Anthony Joshua, 27 fights, 24-3 with 24 stoppages. As I said, Francis Ngannou, 1 fight, 0 victories, a majority decision loss. I thought at worst Ngannou had a draw with Tyson Fury. Remember, he dropped Tyson Fury. So that's where the intrigue comes with this bout. The intrigue comes with this fight. Can Ngannou catch Anthony Joshua? Anthony Joshua, when he gets hit, he will freeze. He will freeze. He's a strong man. He can punch too. But Ngannou's in excellent shape. Joshua's a little lighter than he normally is, so I'm expecting him to box. If I'm in Joshua's corner, it is jab, 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 catch him with the right hand. Do not engage. Do not engage. I want an amateur-style fight. If I'm in his corner, I want the jab and the right hand. I want no more than 3 punches unless I have him hurt, because you don't want to leave yourself open. Ngannou's going to wing punches to the body, and then he'll wing them to the head. He did show, for having his first professional boxing match, remember he's MMA, UFC, excuse me, former champion. He can fight. He's a tough guy. But I watched some of his UFC fights on YouTube just to get a feel for him before the Tyson Fury fight, and I thought he'd tire out. I watched his UFC fights, the wins, the losses against his big-named opponents, and he always looked tired. His fights, when he won them, came quick. He did go the 10 rounds with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury probably took him a little lightly, well, a lot lightly, and Ngannou did not take the fight lightly. But that's shame on Tyson Fury. And again, I honestly thought that Ngannou, at worst, had a draw with Tyson Fury. This could be a very interesting fight. We'll score it as we go along. I have my little notepad here. I'll score. I only score a 1-point round system. If you get a knockdown, I give you an extra point. It's easy. But it could either go really quick and be exciting, or it could be very boring. Either way, we have the chat here. Brian Hoxie says, I don't know anything about boxing, but why would a guy, Joshua, with that many fights, fight a guy with 1 bout? Because it's a lot of money, and he thinks he can win easy. This gentleman, Ngannou, again, is a former UFC champion, very tough man, top-notch striker, as they say in mixed martial arts, but that does not make him a top-notch striker in boxing. He did show power against Tyson Fury. He dropped Fury. So it's going to be very interesting. And he showed some skill. He landed some good body shots, moved in and out. He was trained for the Fury fight by Mike Tyson. I don't know if Tyson, I didn't really hear that Tyson was training him for this bout. Tyson has an upcoming execution of Jake Paul on Netflix coming up, and that should be fun because I have Netflix, so I'll be seeing that fight for free. This fight is intriguing to me. Brian, you are correct. In a way, yes, Joshua will make a lot of money for this fight, and he thinks it's an easy fight. It sets up a fight with Tyson Fury. He's probably hoping Fury beats Usyk coming up in a few months. That fight was postponed when Fury had a horrific cut in sparring. I do like Anthony Joshua. He seems like a very nice person. Ngannou seems like a nice person. And Ngannou's making the most money that he has ever made. Because in UFC, you make money, but you don't make a lot of money. You really don't. You're fighting for the company. The company tells you who you can fight against. You can only veto so many fights. This is a very intriguing fight. Ngannou did surprise me with what he could do with Tyson Fury. Now, whether Tyson Fury took him lightly, which I believe he did, that's shame on Tyson Fury. Shame on Tyson Fury. If Fury trains like that against Usyk could beat him. And Fury's getting old. He's getting up there in age. And with boxing, what happens is you all of a sudden get old. Now, Ngannou's starting to make the ring walk, so we're going to have some boxing action here shortly. We have Joshua Hauser here. Glad to be here. Fun to hear your commentary. Again, this will be not the normal chat with Al. I will get to the chat when I'm able to. As the round's going, I'm going to give you the action, the summary of what's going on. Both gentlemen are large heavyweights. Ngannou, I believe, will be the heavier of the two. From what I read, Joshua coming in a little lighter. So to me, that means Joshua's going to try to box more. The thing with Anthony Joshua, he will freeze up. He will get frustrated. If things do not go his way, he'll stop punching. Excellent athlete, not a natural boxer. Anthony Crooks and I, our good friend from Bleacher Bums Gaming, and the developer and creator of Glory Days Boxing. So here we go. Tail of the tape. Joshua 34, Ngannou 37. Joshua 6'6", Ngannou 6'4". Joshua 252, Ngannou 272 pounds. Reach goes to Anthony 82 inches compared to 78 inches for Ngannou. Ngannou, this is going to be a physical fight. This is going to be a physical fight and a fun fight. Ngannou's ready to make his ring walk. And we have the GOAT Whisperer here, D. Scott Howard. There has to be a normal chat with Al. I missed it, LOL. Love you, man. Love you. So, again, they're going to have the ring walk with Francis Ngannou, then Anthony Joshua. 10 rounds heavyweights, 10 3-minute rounds. This is not amateur boxing. So, yes, you have to score points, but it goes to who punches harder and who's the more effective ring generalship, who dictates the pace. At least that usually is what happened. Ngannou looks very, very ready for this fight. He is wearing pink and white. You're not going to laugh at him for wearing pink. And he's starting to make his way out to the ring. His gloves are pink and white, pink on the thumbs, white here. He's making his ring walk alone to music, obviously. His entourage will probably come in towards the end. Not his entourage, but his corner people. Now the smoke. He looks in excellent shape. You would not want to meet Francis Ngannou in a dark alley or in a lidded alley or anywhere. So Francis Ngannou coming in. Sparklers, the big sparklers going off here in Saudi Arabia. And now making his way to the ring. It's a short walk to the ring here. Security around him. Looks very determined, Francis Ngannou. Again, he surprised me with what he could do against Tyson Fury and what Fury couldn't do against Ngannou. Again, a lot of that is Fury didn't train well, in my opinion, probably took him lightly. Another thing that surprised me, when Fury did hit him with shots that I thought would drop Francis Ngannou, because again, I watched some of his UFC fights on YouTube, the ones he won, the ones he lost against his best competition. His chin didn't seem too good to me in UFC, but he stood up to Tyson Fury. Here comes Anthony Joshua, white robe, brown gloves, Eddie Hearn behind him, looks very determined. Anthony Joshua knows he must win this fight. He has a 3 to 4 fight plan. Eddie Hearn says, I believe Tyson Fury will be in that plan. But you have to win, as we witnessed earlier or late last year, it was either December or January. Joseph Parker, who beat the Zhang, the Chinese heavyweight, by majority decision, upset Deontay Wilder. That put everything. Wilder and Joshua are probably supposed to meet on this date or close to it. With Parker upsetting Wilder, that opened the door to Ngannou, and he said, show me the money, show me the money. This is a money-making fight for the promoter, Eddie Hearn. And it has the intrigue. It has my intrigue because I like Anthony Joshua. He can hit. He can box a bit. He's an excellent athlete. Very well-spoken, seems very nice, but he does not have the mentality. Again, Anthony Crooks and I have discussed this. He doesn't enjoy boxing. I know that sounds odd. Anthony Joshua looks all business here. He knows a loss to Francis Ngannou would wreck his career. Not his bank account, but his career. And that's if he somehow lost to Francis Ngannou, how could he rebuild his career? Okay, so we have Sports Time Machine here. Hope all is well. So now Anthony Joshua makes his way into the ring through the ropes. Both combatants are in the ring. All we wait to hear is the bell and the fisticuffs. Joshua, the taller of the two. Francis Ngannou outweighs Joshua by 20 pounds. Joshua 252, Ngannou 272. Joshua will have the reach. Joshua has the power too. He's a big puncher. Ngannou, as Joshua kneels in prayer in his corner. He's wearing brown gloves, a nice white robe. No hood to the white robe, but it's a very nice white robe. I don't know what his trunks are yet. As D. Scott Howard says hello to our good friend, Sports Time Machine, Mr. Utah Mike. The ramifications of this fight are tremendous. Again, Anthony Joshua lost twice to Usyk. I fought better the second fight, but he lost both fights. A third fight with Usyk is a possibility if Usyk defeats Fury. Where does he go? You fight it in England or you fight it in Saudi. You make a lot of money, and Joshua gets one more crack at him. Maybe Joshua learns you got to jump on him right away and pound to the body. Anthony Joshua, he has a concerned look. He has a little bit of sweat, which is good. He's worked his sweat up. And they're making the announcement now to the crowd. Anthony Joshua staring across the ring. We haven't seen Ngannou again. Again, Ngannou is in white and pink as they're introducing a lot of dignitaries around the ring in Saudi Arabia, athletes and Saudi royalty. Anthony Joshua pacing back and forth in his corner slowly. Ngannou just standing in his corner, doing that little side-to-side movement. Ngannou looking around, takes a deep breath. Joshua has a little hesitation in his eyes. I don't mean that fear, but he doesn't look like he knows this is a very important fight. People might laugh this fight off. Your referee is Richard Gonzalez. I can honestly say I have not recalled Richard Gonzalez refereeing any bout I have watched. This is so intriguing. So many big paydays on the line here for Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearn, the promoter, says he has a 3 to 4 fight plan. I would think you have, after this fight, a 1-fight plan. If Tyson Fury wins, a mega fight in Wembley Stadium, pack in 100,000. You make a gazillion dollars. Probably, unfortunately, to come to Saudi Arabia, they'll still make a gazillion dollars. Now they're going to introduce Francis Ngannou, record 0-1 again. He dropped Tyson Fury. Ngannou, former UFC heavyweight champion. Ngannou has punching power. He surprised me with what he was able to do against Tyson Fury. Now, sometimes you say you didn't expect anything, so if the other guy does something, you're like, wow, But he looked good. He looked good with what he could do. Both fighters pretty much didn't do anything the second half of that fight. I still think at worst Ngannou had a draw with Tyson Fury, and I do like Tyson Fury. I do like Deontay Wilder, who I think his career is pretty much done and he should retire. Joseph Parker beat him into submission last fight, and Joseph Parker won a majority decision in the co-main event over the big Chinese heavyweight Zhang. Though Zhang does hit, he has hard hitting hands. He dropped Parker twice. His hands are slow. His foot speed is slow, but he is a behemoth of a man. Anthony Parker survived those 2 knockdowns, out-hustled him, outboxed him, and won a deserved decision. I do like Joseph Parker, a very tough fighter. Anthony Joshua now being introduced to the crowd. Eddie Hearn in his corner, and Joshua's cornermen are clapping. We are probably about, I'd say, a minute or 2 away from the combatants going at it. To me, this is a very interesting fight. This is a very interesting fight. Now, the referee calls him to ring center. They're going to get their final instructions. What's low, what's not low. Listen to my commands, so on and so forth. We have a stare down. They touch gloves briefly. They go back to their corners. We're going to have fisticuffs in mere seconds, folks. Mere seconds. So they're in the ring at 7:27 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're waiting the bell. Both fighters looking at one another. Where again, the referee signals. And there's the bell. Both fighters coming out towards the center of the ring. Anthony Joshua foot feints, jabs to the body. Joshua wearing white trunks. Ngannou just staying out of range. Joshua foot feinting, pawing the jab. You can see Joshua has his right hand cocked, ready to try to nail Ngannou's chin. Ngannou lands a little left hook, misses that left hook. He's awkward, but he's a little quicker than people think. 2 jabs by Ngannou. They didn't land, but Joshua backs up quite easy. They're circling one another in the middle of the ring. A jab to the body by Ngannou. This is a feeling out round. Joshua puts a jab out there. No pugilist has landed anything yet. Action ring center. Joshua kind of going up and down with the jab, with his body, trying to jab. They're trying to set up those big shots. Ngannou, you got to watch out. He has that quick little check left hook. Joshua jabs to the body. Ngannou backing up, pawing with the jab. Now there's a left hook by Ngannou, blocked by Joshua. Joshua jabs to the body. Ngannou again tries to come up with the left hook. Ngannou lands a couple of jabs, lands a good shot to the body. Joshua's on the ropes. This is where Ngannou has to work. They tie up, now move back to ring center. Referee breaks them. We have about 1:52 to go in round number 1. Both fighters jabbing to the body, action at ring center. Ngannou's, to me, he's looking like he wants to be an aggressive counter puncher. He sort of wants Joshua to lead and walk him into something. Joshua continues, both fighters pawing with the jab, a little clubbing left hook by Ngannou. A jab by Ngannou gets in. That's the shot you got to watch out for, is that little check left hook by Ngannou. That's what it looks like he wants to land. He has the right hand cocked, so does Joshua. Both fighters, overhand right, catches Joshua to the top of the head. Joshua getting close to those ropes. You got to stay off those ropes if you're Anthony Joshua. Now he maneuvers away. Joshua throws a right that misses towards the chest of Ngannou. Joshua pawing with the jab, and Ngannou slapping it away. Ngannou continues it. Now they're just pity-patting like that with their gloves and their jab hands. Oh, there's the right hand by Anthony Joshua. Ngannou went down like a sack of potatoes. He is going to be done. Anthony Joshua, I told you, was waiting for that right hand, and he caught him. Ngannou's looking to get up. He is done. I'm going to tell you right now, Joshua's going to jump all over him. This fight is over. This is what Anthony Joshua is going to make a lot of money after this. He should jump on him right now. Ngannou's, I don't think his legs are there. Joshua jabs to the body, looking to step that right hand, but now his hands are a little lower. The right hand missed. Now Ngannou opens up. Wide punches don't land. Both fighters tie up. We have 24 seconds in round 1. Will Ngannou survive it? Joshua looking to land the right hand. Ngannou lands a jab to Joshua's glove. Joshua's letting him off the hook here, but maybe this is their plan. Like I said, do not engage. 2 jabs are short by Joshua. Ngannou's jabs are short. We have final seconds coming up here in round 1. Check left hook is short. Joshua lands a little pity-pat jab. End of round number 1. That was a quick right hand. You could see he was waiting, and he caught him, and down went Ngannou right on the booyah, right on the button. And when that happens, you go down. Ngannou's head hit the ropes, second strand of the rope, as his butt hit the canvas. There it is. Shoulders against the first 2 strands of the rope. The feint, what Joshua did, I'm watching the replay, he feinted the jab towards the chest and body, and then the right hand came. Ngannou's hand sort of came down, and he split the guard of the former UFC heavyweight champion, Francis Ngannou. But he didn't jump on him. Probably wisely so. They didn't want to get into a exchange. He's going to wear down. He's going to do what I said. He is going to just put a jab on him and try to hit him with the right hand. Round 1 goes 2-1, or goes 2-0, to Anthony Joshua. So action starts out, ring center again. Both fighters pawing with the jab. Joshua and Ngannou throw. Neither man really landed there. Ngannou has a little more urgency. He's very awkward looking. Obviously not a boxer. 2 jabs, 1 to the body, 1 to the head, missed by Ngannou. Joshua not throwing anything. He's pawing. He's looking to land that big right hand right down the middle. Ngannou trying to really slap that jab away when Joshua just paws with it. You can see, there's that left hook blocked by Anthony Joshua. Joshua's got to watch out jabbing to the body, because if you jab to the body, it does leave you open to a left hook. Joshua, a lot of foot feinting, and the foot feinting is to try to get Ngannou out of position. He almost had Ngannou out of position a moment ago. He's going to hit Ngannou again with that right hand. But as Joshua lowers his jab, Ngannou might try to come with an overhand right. Joshua now jabs to the body and lands a right into the ribs of Ngannou. It was a straight right. Both fighters jabbing. There's another good right hand by Anthony Joshua, but both men tie up quickly. Ngannou, I don't think he's long for this fight. Joshua again jabs to the body. You got to be concerned. I know what he's trying to do here, but when you jab to the body, you're leaving your head open a bit. And that's the only hope for Ngannou. Ngannou's trying to bring his hands up tight, but there's nothing on Ngannou's punches when it comes to speed at the moment. They tie up. Referee Gonzalez breaks them. We have 1:27 left here in round 2. And Joshua is just pawing with the jab, looking to land the right hand. He's winning the round. 2 good jabs by Ngannou, one to the chest, one to the lower chin. Ngannou starting to press Joshua very slowly. Joshua needs to stay off the ropes, and he does. Gets back to ring center. Joshua's circling. He doesn't want to stand in front of Ngannou. Action at ring center. Both fighters foot feigning. Joshua pawing with the jab. I would think I'd like to throw him with a little more authority now. There's a good jab. Jab to the head, caught Ngannou. Oh, the overhand right. Down goes Ngannou again. Down goes Ngannou again. The overhand right after the jab to the body, jab to the head, overhand right. Ngannou went down. If I'm Joshua now, I'm looking to end it. 46 seconds left. Ngannou looks all but done. Did he quit? No, he's going. What's going on here? The referee's asking, and now he answers properly. Joshua should end it here. Joshua should. Oh, there. That is it. That is it. You can count to 4,005. That is a devastating knockout. He is laid out on the canvas. That's what Tyson Fury should have done to Francis Ngannou, to show that it's very difficult for a UFC gentleman to come into boxing and do what he did to Tyson Fury. Well, I give Anthony Joshua a ton of credit. He did not let that happen to him. Anthony Joshua trained. He was lighter than he normally was, 20-pound lighter than Ngannou. Ngannou landed nothing in this fight. So Joshua did what he was supposed to do, not unexpected. Joshua did not engage. He stayed behind a jab. He jabbed to the body, jabbed to the head, and the power punch when he wanted to throw hard was his big right hand. He dropped him 3 times. The 3rd time was the strikeout, the knockout. He went down flat on his back. The referee didn't even count. He just waved it off. And Ngannou is still on the canvas going over as Anthony Joshua is showing a lot of class to check on Ngannou. That was a devastating punch. For all you gentlemen who want in the UFC to come and fight Anthony Joshua, yeah, they're showing Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury seems a bit impressed. Tyson Fury should be, and I like Tyson Fury, he should be ashamed of himself for the effort he put forth in the Ngannou fight, because you can't tell. Like I said earlier in the chat, Ngannou really wasn't that good against Fury, but Fury didn't do anything, and Ngannou was a little better than I thought he'd be. And so a lot of people are like, oh, Ngannou did pretty good, and he did. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought at worst Ngannou had a draw with Tyson Fury. He was knocked cold. He is not. They finally got him up. He's on the stool in his corner. The physicians and the medical people are looking at him now, so that's good news. We always like to see that. We don't want to see anyone hurt. But that was a tremendous shot by Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearn said, and I love Eddie Hearn as a promoter. He's great for boxing, in my opinion, puts on great fight cards. Eddie Hearn said this: before Tyson Fury and Ngannou fight, if my guy Anthony Joshua fought Ngannou, he wouldn't make it past 3 rounds. He didn't make it past 3 rounds. Joshua did exactly what I said I thought he would do. Don't engage. I thought he'd throw his jab a little harder, but he did a lot of jab down, jab up. Jab, change the vision of your opponent. Jab to the body, you get him to look down, jab up, and then boom. The right hand, 3 right hands dropped him. A right hand in the first, a right hand in the second, and then the right hand in the third knocked him cold. Here comes the knockout. I think this is the knockout. Boom! Right on the side of the head. And there he goes. There was a little pawing, slapping, kind of push away left hook. And there he goes. That's a second knockdown. I'm sorry. That's a second knockdown. This is round 2. Did he stop him in 2? I got so excited. Oh, man, that's devastating. That is devastating. That is devastating. That's the second knockdown. Yeah. And that's the last one. Bent him right over. What a shot. Boom, on the chin. This was a professional versus an amateur in this fight. And the Tyson Fury Ngannou fight, it was two amateurs because Fury fought like an amateur. And I love Tyson Fury. Oh, my Lord, did he wind up that right hand. Devastating power by Anthony Joshua. My name is Mud is here. Joshua didn't take it lightly, especially after Fury's performance. Yeah, and Eddie Hearn is ecstatic. And then they went to Fury. He's clapping. He's happy. There's a lot of money to be made here, but Fury has to defeat Usyk. Ngannou's up. He looks okay. They shake hands. They hug. Welcome to professional boxing, Francis Ngannou. So I don't want to hear any more poop about. Now, again, if a boxer went into a UFC fight, I'd give the UFC fighter the bigger advantage, obviously. Though there have been some boxers who've gone into UFC, and UFC fighters have not fought smartly and got KO'd. I remember Ray Mercer knocked the crap out of a UFC fighter because the guy went right at him, which was stupid. But wow, that was a lot of power by Anthony Joshua there. And then, again, it just sets up bigger and better paydays. Bigger and better paydays. Devastating shots. It looked like Ngannou, and I'll read later, just curious what his strategy was, but he wanted to probably have Joshua kind of lead and try to catch him with something. He never hit Joshua with anything quite clean. Joshua would jab to the body. Joshua twice got dangerously close to the ropes. They tied up the first time. They moved back to the center of the ring. Joshua kept the action in the center of the ring. Joshua was jabbing body, head, body. Not really hard. Every once in a while, he put the hard jab in. It was a lot of pawing. I was a little leery of Joshua pawing, not jabbing hard enough to the body. And again, that's to get your opponent to change his vision. Let him look down but the knockout punch, Ngannou had his hands up. Joshua threw quick and hard with that right hand. Boom, right through the guard, and down he went, bent him over. Referee didn't even count. So that is it. Anthony Joshua did what he had to do. My name is Mud says it exactly. Joshua did not take it lightly, especially after Fury's performance or debacle now. Tyson Fury, again, who makes out in this? Anthony Joshua has rejuvenated his career. He's coming off a good win. He came off a win prior to this where he wiped out Helenius, who was there on short notice. But Joshua's losses, he got knocked out. Oh, Lord, against the Mexican-American fighter. Name escapes me. Came back, decisioned him. And then he's lost twice to Usyk. What's next for Anthony Joshua? If I'm Eddie Hearn, and I love Eddie Hearn, I think he's a brilliant businessman when it comes to boxing. I love his promotions. I love his fight cards from England. They're absolutely outstanding, full of action and fun. What's next? This is going to be interesting. So, do I have closed caption on this? No, I don't. And I can't play it or I get in trouble. So, they've announced Joshua as the winner by knockout. Devastating early round knockout. 3 knockdowns. The third one, Ngannou did not get up. I give Ngannou obviously a lot of credit. He got knocked down in the first, then he got knocked down again. You know what? This probably was the second round. I got so excited. I kept saying third round in my head. I'm going to have to go back and check. I do believe it was the second round. No, it was the third round. It was the third round. Anyhow, excellent strategy on Joshua's part. Do not engage. If you caught me earlier in the stream, I said if I was Joshua, you're not throwing more than 3 punches at a time. You don't want to engage. That's the slight only chance that Ngannou had. This fight really showed Ngannou as an amateur boxer, a novice amateur boxer, because he did not know how to answer Anthony Joshua. Joshua jabbed, moved, but not like Fury. Fury, when he moved in the fight, he was more move, 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 don't do anything. Joshua moved with a purpose. Joshua did get a couple of times too close to the ropes. I was concerned there, but tied him up. Referee broke him, moved back to the ring. Joshua would jab to the body, jab to the head, pawing jabs. A lot of his jabs were pawing. You could see both fighters would pity-pat, try to paw their jabs away with their defensive lead hand. Eddie Hearn, oh, he's got that Cheshire Cat smile. He's a very happy man, promoter Eddie Hearn. It's going to be interesting to see what's up next for Joshua. Obviously, I'm not listening to this right now. I will re-listen to see what's up next with Joshua. But I would think if I'm Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua, I want one fight. I want one fight. One fight and one fight only. And I'm rooting very hard for Tyson Fury. I want Fury, 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 if you're Joshua and Hearns, because that is a mega, mega payday that will probably break, in my opinion, or come close to breaking whatever the biggest heavyweight purse is. Because Tyson Fury had a front row seat for this execution, we'll say, a boxing execution of Francis Ngannou, the former UFC heavyweight champion. That is what Tyson Fury should have done when he fought Ngannou. Hats off to Ngannou. He made a lot of money. I'm happy for him. I was very disappointed in the Tyson Fury effort. It was because that shouldn't have happened. Fury obviously took him lightly, or he got old all at once. Anthony Joshua did not take Ngannou lightly, as my name is Mud stated, and we've shown a couple of times. Anthony Joshua did what you should do against a fighter like Ngannou. You don't want to engage. The only thing I got excited when he dropped him in the first round, I thought he was going to jump on him, and he didn't. He probably knew I got him. I can take my time. I don't want to get into an exchange because that's how he got knocked out. And again, I can't. Was it Andy Ruiz Jr.? That's who it was. Andy Ruiz Jr. knocked him out. He actually had hurt Andy Ruiz Jr., was going for the kill, and then Andy Ruiz Jr. caught him and knocked him out. So a good win for Joshua. Not unexpected. I mean, again, I expected him to win. I was a little concerned that maybe he gets caught with something, freezes up. But tremendous performance by Anthony Joshua. Easy money, easy work in the ring. Nothing's easy. But if you look at Anthony Joshua, they said he trained very hard for this fight. He was lighter than his last fight. He was 20 pounds lighter than Ngannou. Again, you don't want to meet Ngannou in a dark alley. But this was a boxing ring. And Anthony Joshua absolutely leveled Francis Ngannou, dropping him in the first. Then, again, I want to say it's the third round. I could be wrong. It could be the second round. I got so excited. Dropped him again in the second and then finished him off. He didn't let him off the hook the second time. But it wasn't so much letting him off the hook the first knockdown in the first round. He knew he had him. And I almost went right against my own strategy. It was like, go get him. But then that would be against the strategy I was saying he should fight. And he actually fought the strategy that I thought he would fight by just using his jab, nothing but the jab and the right hand. He didn't throw a hook. He didn't throw a hook or uppercut. Sometimes he throws that uppercut from a little bit too far outside, and that leaves you wide open. Everything was pretty much a jab and a right hand. It was an amateur boxing match when it came to the punches. He elevated his jab and decreased his jab. He jabbed down to the body, then up to the head. I was a little concerned when he's starting to jab a little too much to the body and not going up to the head, because when you do that, you're coming down, and Ngannou you're bringing your hands down, right? But Anthony Joshua, that last shot when he knocked him out after the second knockdown, the third knockdown was the knockout. He bent him over with the shot. He bent him over. The referee didn't even count. He just waved it off. And it's a very happy Anthony Joshua in the ring. So now we look forward to Tyson Fury and Usyk in the next, I think that fight is in 2 months. Fury is here in Saudi Arabia. He's at ringside. And let's see if he's calling out Fury. No, he's waving to the fans. Anthony Joshua's, maybe that's family out there that he's saying thank you for coming and supporting me. What happened to Wilder? What happened to Wilder was Joseph Parker in Wilder's last fight a few months back, Joseph Parker kicked the crap out of him. A huge upset win. And I like Joseph Parker, tough fighter from New Zealand, that area of the world. And he won tonight on the co-main event on the undercard. He beat the very large, plodding but heavy-handed Chinese heavyweight Zhang. Zhang did drop him twice with shots. You're like, that shouldn't drop a fighter, but he's heavy-handed. But other than that, Zhang's a horrible fighter. How he beat David Joyce twice, which just shows how bad Joyce is, the other English heavyweight. You know logic in Joyce's understanding of how to fight someone. Why would you go at a guy who tires after 4 rounds? Oh, man, look at the shots. They're showing replays of Anthony Joshua's punching power. This is the knockout there. No, that's the second knockdown. It was just an excellent fight by Anthony Joshua. Excellent fight. Well fought. Excellent strategy. He did what he had to do. I know I keep saying that, but that is it. And there's the last one. Oh, he crushed him. Bent him right over. Referee doesn't even count. Boom! See you later, alligator. When your legs get straighter. Good night. Good riddance. Goodbye. He sent him to the moon, except the moon was the canvas. So an excellent win for Anthony Joshua. And that was tremendous. That was tremendous. Let's close that out and increase this. And let's go to the chat for a few minutes. So there you have it. Anthony Joshua wipes out Francis Ngannou. 3 knockdowns in under 3 rounds. Again, it could have been the second round. I got so excited. It could have been the second round. I gave Joshua a 2-0 round in my scoring system. You win the round, I give you a point. If it's even, it's 1 point apiece. And if you lose the round by knockdowns or more, you get more points. But wow. He did what he was supposed to do. I've already explained it. So if you missed it, you can catch it earlier. But Joshua boxed, never opened up with more than really 3 punches at a time. Really no more than 2 punches at a time. When it was 3 punches, it was 2 jabs, then the right hand. Sometimes he'd throw the right to the body. It was a straight right. It wasn't really a hook. But those right hands just split the defense of Ngannou. And that was it. This shows what a novice amateur Ngannou is. So it really sheds a poor light, or shines, a poor light on Tyson Fury, who I'm a big Fury fan, how he really underestimated Francis Ngannou in their fight, which at worst I thought Ngannou had drawed with the heavyweight champion of the world, or who's considered the heavyweight champion of the world. Anthony Joshua knocked out Francis Ngannou early in the fight, Philip. Dropped him 3 times. A 3rd time was the charm. He did not get up. Say hello to Philip Reynolds. Hope all is well. Congrats on your new job, my friend. Brian Hawks, he just saw the final punch on Twitter. Holy smokes, boy, did he step into it. Yes, he did, Brian. And he didn't even have to set it up with a jab, because, and if you saw it, Brian, you know Ngannou had his hands up, but Anthony Joshua parted the Ngannou defensive C. He had his hands like this, and Anthony Joshua came right down the pike. He collapsed him, bent him over. You can't punch better than that. And again, when I saw Ngannou's fights to see what he, before the Fury fight, when I watched his fights on YouTube, I didn't think he had a good chin, because I watched I believe, was it Croatian fighter? I believe Eastern European fighter. I think he was Croatian, and fighting out of Las Vegas or somewhere. Knock him out in their first fight, and then or stop him in the first fight, and then Ngannou knocked him out in the second fight. But yeah, he hit him with a solid shot. You can't throw a punch better than that. Brian Hoxie says, like a batter hitting a ball off a tee. Oh, absolutely. But he had set that up. He had set that up with the jabs. He would jab to the body, jab to the head, jab to the head, jab to the body. Again, I don't mean to keep repeating myself, but you have to know your opponent. You don't want to engage with a guy whose only chance is to hit you with something big, and he doesn't even know how to cut off the ring. He's just going to try to make you walk into something, you know? He was trying to make Anthony Joshua walk into something, hit him with something, and try to hurt him. That's why, wow, Tyson Fury should be really disappointed in his effort. The good news for Tyson Fury is, if he's still Tyson Fury, if he trains for the Usyk fight, I believe he can stop Usyk. Because what I said in the first Joshua and Usyk fight, Joshua needs to apply the pressure and hit Usyk in the body. Usyk is a smallish heavyweight, excellent boxer, good hand speed, and yes, all heavyweights can hit with some power. By the end of the first Usyk fight with Joshua, it was Joshua on the ropes looking like he was going to get knocked out. Had it been a 15-round fight, Joshua would have been knocked out. In the second Usyk-Joshua fight, Joshua fought slightly more aggressive, hit Usyk to the body. Well, guess what? No one likes to get hit in the body, especially Usyk. And Usyk wasn't as chippy. Joshua needed to do that earlier, needed to rough him up more. He did a little bit about that. If they fight a third time, can he do it? I don't know. But do you want to see a third Usyk-Joshua fight? Not me. I want to see Joshua and Fury. Our good friend Gary Banks has joined us. How are you doing, Gary? Gary says, I think AJ versus Usyk is probably summer, then better AJ in September. Well, again, Usyk is supposed to fight Fury in a month or two. I don't think Usyk, again, it depends how Tyson Fury is going to be. Is Tyson Fury, did he get old all of a sudden? Is Tyson Fury's head on, right? Is his head on straight? You know, have the demons come back? Is he surrounding himself with bad people? His father's not happy with his training. That was a few months ago. Again, they were supposed to fight. Okay? They were supposed to fight before this. But Fury, or it would have been just after this. No, I think it would have been January. I think the fight was supposed to be in January. But he got cut in sparring. That pushed the fight off a few months. A horrific cut by Tyson, sustained by Tyson Fury in sparring. The May. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at Gary Banks. Gary Banks says Fury Usyk in May. So that's only a few months away. Thank you, Gary. Hope all is well to our good friend across the pond. I think Fury, if he's Tyson Fury, has his head on straight, trains well, and doesn't play, I think he can steamroll Usyk. I think he can stop Usyk within 6 to 8 rounds. Because when Anthony Joshua applied any pressure in the second fight, Usyk wanted none of it. When Anthony Joshua roughed him up a little bit and threw some body punches, Usyk slowed down. Okay? Yeah. I'm not I thought in the second fight, I thought the first fight Joshua was going to handle Usyk, but Usyk boxed beautifully. And again, by the end of the 12th round, take a little swig of Gatorade. By the end of the 12th round, had it gone 15 rounds, Usyk would have knocked out Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, because Joshua was out of steam and Joshua was discouraged. And he had no confidence in himself. The second fight, he was a little more cautious. And then when he did punch, he tried to rough up Joshua a bit. He needed to do, Usyk a bit. He needed to do a lot more of that. So we have some interesting heavyweight fights coming up. I will watch Fury and Usyk, obviously. I want Fury to win that fight. I want to see Joshua, Fury, Wembley Stadium, 100,000. That's what I want to see. Unfortunately, that fight will probably go to Saudi Arabia. I hope not. That's a fight that deserves to be across the pond in England at the Grand Old Stadium, Wembley Stadium. Gary Banks. I reckon if Fury wins, then it will be Fury AJ in September. Then AJ probably will take on Hrgovic in the summer. Possibility, but Gary and anyone else who's in the chat and listening, chime in if you're a boxing fan or anything. Really, if AJ fights Fury, right? If Anthony Joshua fights Fury, if you're just joining us, Anthony Joshua just annihilated Francis Ngannou. So all you UFC fans who thought Francis Ngannou had a chance, no. It just shows, again, just my humble opinion, that Tyson Fury didn't have his head on straight, didn't train well, and obviously underestimated Francis Ngannou. You should never underestimate anyone you step in the ring with. Anyone. He was lucky to come out with a majority decision that night, Tyson Fury. I thought it was at least, at worst, a draw when I rewatched it. So, Gary, I mean, if Anthony Joshua does fight Fury, and that's a fight as a boxing fan I'd like to see. I know that's a huge fight in England, a huge fight throughout the world. If Anthony Joshua beats Tyson Fury, to me, I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying who's going to win that fight yet, if it happens. But just play devil's advocate. They fight. They fight at Wembley, where it should be. 100,000 people are close to it, right? The build-up's magnificent. The press conferences are magnificent. The fight is magnificent. Anthony Joshua knocks out Tyson Fury in the 9th, we'll say. If I'm Anthony Joshua, I'm riding off into the sunset. I have just cemented my place in boxing history. I'm not fighting anybody else. He doesn't need the money. He doesn't have the opponents. Tyson Fury's running out of opponents. Tyson Fury basically has Usyk and now Joshua, which is a good thing. Because the Joshua fight is a fun fight. You know, if I'm Anthony Joshua, I'm not taking another fight unless I don't get a Fury fight. And I will take a fight to stay busy at some point. And you got to be very careful because I'm going to take a fight I can win. Tyson Fury was at ringside when Joshua just crushed Francis Ngannou. So Fury's got to sit there and think to himself, let me take this Usyk fight seriously, and I hope he's going to, because I do like Tyson Fury. I think he's good for boxing. I think Anthony Joshua is good for boxing. Take this fight seriously, win this Usyk fight, and let's have a huge payday with Anthony Joshua, because they just made money. Anthony Joshua just annihilated someone who Tyson Fury struggled with. And again, I thought that fight was a draw. Worst case scenario. You know, Fury was lucky to get a majority decision. I think this is the end of Francis Ngannou as a boxer. And that's going to, you know, all the UFC people who think UFC guys can come over and fight in the boxing ring. I'm not saying they can't, but you're going to get annihilated if you fight a top-notch fighter. Same thing if a boxer went in to fight a top-notch UFC guy or a competent UFC guy in mixed martial arts. If they don't hit him standing up and they get him on the ground, how much wrestling are you going to learn in a short period of time? You can say a guy in UFC is a top-notch striker. That's nice. That doesn't mean he's a top-notch puncher in boxing. Or he can do it in boxing. Gary Banks. It has to be in the UK, now it's Saudi. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. That fight needs to be in the UK. Wembley Stadium. 100,000. Packed. And it's got to be a beautiful fight card. And it has to be an Eddie Hearn promotion because he'll put a beautiful fight card together. Joseph Hauser. Al, I appreciate your boxing knowledge and passion, and your play-by-play is top-notch. Well, thank you very much. Again, I do this. The people who can chime in are the FOC because I do it for you guys. I used to do a lot more of this before. I just don't have the time to do it. And this I had time to do. Had a little free time. I do like to do this. And this is only open to the FOC to chime in. I will probably get the most thumbs down on these type of videos because there'll be comments, well, you didn't show the fight. Well, no poop, Sherlock. Go buy the fight or rob the fight yourself. I paid for the fight. I can't show the fight. I would love to show the fight if I could. I would show the fight. I don't care if I paid for it, but you can't. You get suspended. I don't want that to happen, you know. That's why I clearly put what it's about on the description. So we're going to end it here in a couple of minutes. I might be back on a little later for a normal chat with Al or a ball game. The Joshua annihilates Francis Ngannou. Again, either the second or third round. I got so excited, I lost track of the rounds when he knocked him down the second time. I got to look now. What the hell? Jesus. I said it was a third round knockout. Then I started doubting myself. Let's go to ESPN here. ESPN. Please don't play a commercial when I click on this. And let's go to... Now, I'm not showing it because I'm afraid something will pop up that I'm not supposed to show. It is a second round. It was a second round. I don't know why I thought that. I think because of the third knockdown, I thought it was a third round. But he stopped him. He had 3 knockdowns in 2 rounds, and he annihilated him. It was a second round. Gary Banks, a good friend from across the pond, Gary says, if Usyk wins, then I think AJ has his work cut out against Usyk, already beating him twice. But I think Usyk poses any heavyweight a problem due to his size and skill. Well, Usyk's a more smallish heavyweight. He's a very skilled heavyweight. I go back to... It was Usyk's first real fight at good challenge at heavyweight. He said he was sick, and he fought the English heavyweight who I like, and now again that escapes my mind. But all that guy did was bully him into the ropes and pound him to the body. The Doughboy. Oh, Gary, help me out here. He had his last fight. Oh God, why? Derek Chisora. Chisora just bullied him to the ropes and pounded him to the body. And to be honest with you, I thought Chisora won that fight and they screwed him out of it. Usyk said he was sick. Now, Usyk fought much better in his subsequent heavyweight fights that I watched. But on that night, I think Derek Chisora beat him. That is the formula to beat Usyk. Pound his ass to the body. And you're going to win the fight. Don't let him do his little cute side to side. Now, of course, he's not going to stand there and let you pound him to the body. But in the second Joshua fight, when Joshua was more aggressive at times, slightly more aggressive and slightly more roughing him up, and when he hit him to the body, Usyk won the fight. He easily won the first fight, and he won the second fight. Not as easy, but he won a clear-cut decision in the second fight. You have to not let Usyk get into a rhythm. Tyson Fury has this. Again, if Fury's head on straight, if Fury's in shape, okay, let's assume he is, right? He's now taking this serious. He has a few more months to train, okay? And he's just watched Anthony Joshua annihilate Francis Ngannou in 2 rounds. By accident, I said the third round. Devastating him, okay? 3 knockdowns, 1 in the first, 2 in the second. The second knockdown in the second, good night, Irene. You're gone. Split him in half. Bent him in half. Okay. Referee didn't even count. Referee Gonzalez did not even count. But now we're moving on from that. Joshua did what he's supposed to do. He annihilates Ngannou. Tyson Fury has to do what he has to do now. He has to beat Usyk. I think he can handle, if his head's on straight and he trains right, I think he can handle Usyk easy. He's much bigger than Usyk. He can box. What he has to do is fight Usyk the way he fought Stevie Cunningham, a blown-up cruiserweight, in his United States debut years ago at Madison Square Garden, except don't fool around. Lean on him when you can, when you have him on the ropes, and hit him to the body, hit him with the uppercut, and hit him with that right hand. I think Deontay Wilder is totally out of the heavyweight picture now after a Joseph Parker defeat. And now Joseph Parker has another big win tonight against Zhang, the Chinese heavyweight. Parker did go down twice, but Parker out-hustled him, outboxed him. Joseph Parker fought a good fight. Zhang does have heavy fists. I mean, he throws a punch, and then all of a sudden Parker went down. I'm like, well, what did he hit him with? But and then you watch the replay, and he catches him. Zhang has nothing. Could he knock somebody out? Yeah, but he has nothing. That shows how bad these other guys when they're fighting. How Joyce lost to Zhang twice, I don't know now. Well, I do know because I've seen both fights. He stood and traded with him. Just boxed the guy. Joseph Parker, hats off to him. What a comeback in his career. I like Joseph Parker. Tough fighter. Good fighter. And yep, Derek Chisora, thank you. Again, sometimes names slip my mind. But does size beat speed? An advantage for Usyk? Here's my thoughts, Gary. Size does beat speed when the guy with size has speed. It does. Tyson Fury has quick hands. Tyson Fury can move on his feet. Tyson Fury is phenomenal when he's in shape. But Tyson Fury is getting old. And if you know, when you're boxing fans or in any sport, but especially boxing, you're sometimes the fighters you like to watch or you root for, or just any fighter, you watch them get in that ring, and all of a sudden they're old. Parker's in good spot, but he's not going to fight Joshua again. I thought he gave Joshua a good fight, and he's not going to fight Tyson Fury again. I do believe they fought at some point. I'm positive about that. He's Tyson Fury's friend and sparring partner. Arnold Hunter, how you doing? And again, we're going to end this stream in a moment, and we'll be back later. Boxer beats MMA. Oh, our good friend Cutter Historical. Please check out that wonderful channel. Boxer beats MMA guy and is at his own game. Let the UFC haters have their say and wear themselves out. I don't hate UFC. I'm just saying they were all, oh, look what he did with Tyson Fury. And I'm being honest. I thought the fight at worst case scenario against Fury was a draw. I could have seen if they said Ngannou won. I could have seen if they said Ngannou won. That's how bad Fury fought. Now you see what Joshua did. Tyson Fury has a bad habit of playing. As they say in Title Bout Championship Boxing 2 on the PC or on the board game, right? Fights down to his opposition is one of his traits. And he definitely fought down to Francis Ngannou on that night. Cutter Historical. Al, thanks for the comment on my Yvonne Lendl video. It was a fun video. I enjoyed it. I like your happy birthday videos. Jim Rice. Awesome. Jim Rice. Cutter Historical, if you don't know, he does like these really, when it's athlete's birthday, he does a video and a little summary of their career and interesting anecdotes and facts. It's a lot of fun. Gary Banks, I still think UFC guys are a different breed of a fighter and they earn my respect. I respect them. I'm just saying, again, if you put a boxer in a UFC ring, it's the UFC is going to be favored. You're in their neighborhood. You're in the water with them. But when you put a UFC guy in the ring with a boxer, most of them aren't going to win. So, and now we get to look forward to Jake Paul fighting a 57-year-old Mike Tyson. I don't think that fight's coming off. I hope it does. I think the first shot Tyson hits him with in the rib cage, Paul goes down and the fight is over. This is going to be faster than Peter McNeely. Jake Paul does not have the boxing skill to stay away from a 70-year-old Mike Tyson. Jake Paul, give him a lot of credit. He trains, he fights, he wins. Again, he's fighting. People say, oh, UFC guys, but they get in the ring with him. They're going to make money. And Netflix putting up the cash to get that fight. Good for Netflix. I hope they do more boxing. If I get to watch fights on Netflix live without paying extra, cheers. So Francis Ngannou gets knocked out by Anthony Joshua in the second round. 3 knockdowns. Joshua, basically a lot of feeling out in the first round. Joshua backed Ngannou up a little bit towards the ropes. Not too much. Pod, boom, right hand. Down went Ngannou. Shoulders hit the lower 2 strands of the ropes. Head was on the second strand of the rope. And Ngannou got up, to his credit. He's a tough fella. Joshua did not pounce on him. I was a little disappointed about that. But again, if you're just joining us, I said go back if you want to. Joshua should not engage with Ngannou. Throw no more than 3 punches, which he actually threw sometimes no more than 2 punches at a time. It was always the jab in the right hand. He would jab to the head, jab to the body. Not always solid, too. He was pawing, trying to set up that right hand. They had their plan. They knew exactly how to beat Francis Ngannou. They executed. They knocked him out. Gary Banks, love to see how Ngannou would fare in Glory Days boxing. That's a tough card to make. You have 2 fights. One he gets annihilated in, this one. And the Tyson Fury fight, again, you have to give him credit. He went 10 rounds with the heavyweight champion of the world in many people's eyes. To me, Tyson Fury is the heavyweight champion of the world, not Usyk. The linear heavyweight champion's Tyson Fury. He looked horrible against Francis Ngannou. Now it really looks horrible. But you know who was at ringside, folks? Tyson Fury. You know who probably is going to be in shape for the Usyk fight when it comes off in May? Tyson Fury. You know who's probably going to have his head on straight in May? Tyson Fury. You know who might probably kick the living snot out of Usyk? Tyson Fury. Because they're going to make money, baby. Him and Anthony Joshua. The fight that fight fans want to see. Not just fight fans across the pond in the UK, but me. And I want to see it in England at Wembley Stadium. 100,000 boxing fans. The atmosphere will be incredible. Promoted by the greatest promoter in the world at this time, Eddie Hearn. That's what I want to see. They're all going to make money. They're all going to make money. Okay, so you can kind of see Eddie Hearn here in the background. Is that Frank Warren here? That could be Frank Warren there. They can have a co-promotion. I don't care. But it's got to be in Wembley. Don't put it in Saudi. That's going to be... I'll still watch it. And the timing will be better. I won't have to... Well, though, fights in the UK, they usually come off at 5, 6 p.m. here. And I love that. Thing I hate, why I don't get many U.S. pay-per-views anymore. And I pay for my boxing now. I don't have any apparatuses anymore. I might have in the day, allegedly. The reason why I don't get too many U.S. ones, the main events start at an asinine time. And don't give me that bull crap. They want to get the West Coast. You're either going to watch the fight or you're not going to watch the fight. Does it make a difference if the main event comes off at 10 o'clock or if the main event comes off at 12 o'clock? No. You know, and the U.S. promotions, a lot of those fight cards suck. Maybe they have a decent main event, but the undercards, in my opinion, are awful. You know, I look at them, and sometimes sometimes you miss a good one. Oh, wow, they had a couple of good undercard fights. They turned out well. Now, the promoter's excuse for that is when they put on a solid main event, what they're saying should be a solid main event on paper. You pay a lot of money to the main event guys. There's not a lot of money down the line. You can still I disagree there. You can still put together competitive, good fights. No one, unless you're a boxing fan, the main event is what's driving the event. Put on solid, good fights. But again, a promoter is going to promote his fighters, and I get that. And, you know, Bob Arum and Top Rank are the worst. They feed up their fighters cannon fodder constantly. My favorite fight cards are Eddie Hearn fight cards from the UK. They're always competitive. They're competitive and fun. I can watch an English, not the English heavyweight championship fight, not the British Commonwealth, in English. And they're going to put in 2 guys who want to win most of the time, and it's a competitive fight and it's fun. You get people at equal skill levels. That's what it's about, equal skill levels, you know. So, all right. Anthony Joshua annihilates Francis Ngannou in 2 rounds. Joseph Parker upsets Zhang, the big Chinese heavyweight, though Parker was dropped twice. Parker did win the fight. I watched it. I thought he won the fight. I think Zhang After 6 rounds, I had it even, so Zhang would have been up because of the knockdown. Then Zhang had another knockdown. What was it, in the 8th, 9th? And then Parker, and you have to understand he didn't win any of those rounds except for the knockdown round. And he definitely didn't win any of the rounds down the stretch. And he definitely didn't win the 12th round. You know why? You can't win a round if you don't throw a freaking punch. So, you know, a fun little annihilation. Though, see, you got to be careful. Now that I just bashed Zhang, you have to be careful if you fight him. He can punch. He's done after 3 rounds, and his power, I mean, when it comes to any type of continual punching, but his power lasts throughout the fight, and he doesn't seem like he's throwing his punches quick, but he lands when he throws. But does not have a mentality of a fighter. He's a big dude, a strong dude, and I'm happy Joseph Parker beat him. So thank you very much. It was a quick FOC stream. We might be back later for a normal chat with Al. I'd like to thank Gary Banks, our good friend from across the pond, Cutter Historical, Arnold Hunter, Joshua Hauser. Thank you for the kind words. He says, Al, I appreciate your boxing knowledge and passion and your play-by-play top-notch. Well, I appreciate that. There's a lot of other channels that do it. They like to sensationalize, and that's their shtick. Awesome sauce. You go ahead and do it. I've listened to some of those channels. A couple of them pretty good. A lot of them pretty bad. They think they know boxing. They don't know boxing. But hats off to them and their thousands upon thousands of subscribers who also most likely don't know boxing. You know, like when someone's like, and he throws a left hand and yeah, you know, and oh, thanks for that donation. I don't ask for a donation. And the guy goes, oh, you did a great job. But good, that's fine. I mean, like, for those people, I just had to get that out because it annoys me when I flip through and I'm watching, like, the guy's awful. They're awful. What the hell are you watching? You know, they're doing wrestling. Wrestling's good when you do wrestling. Boxing's not wrestling, it's boxing. Philip Reynolds, thank you. Our good friend Brian Hoxie, thank you. Jim L, thank you. I think my name is Mud. Thank you. And he had a great point. Joshua didn't take Ngannou lightly. You know, after that horrific Fury performance. Sports Time Machine, thank you. D. Scott Howard, the Goat Whisperer, thank you. And I think we got everybody. So, again, this was a quick, nice little chat. The chat is only open up to subscribers. I mean, anyone can listen to it. No, Jim L., don't do that. I don't want that. Thank you very much, Jim L. You did not have to do that. That was not the point of what I said. But I appreciate that, Jim L. Goes right back to the channel. Hats off to you, my friend. That was very kind of you. But that's not what we're here for. If you want to help me out, let the ads run. So, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm happy Anthony Joshua did what he had to do. Second round annihilation of Francis Ngannou. Hats off to Ngannou. I'm happy he made a lot of money. And he stepped in that ring. He came in shape. Both these guys in tremendous shape. So, thank you very much. Stay safe. Be smart. If you enjoyed our little chat with Al, thank you for the super chat. Jim L, greatly appreciate that. Always helps out the channel. Hit that like button. That helps out the channel for you folks. And if you haven't subscribed and you want to, we're over 2,000. I thank everyone who subscribed. Let's get past 2,000. Let's get past that and more. That's how we grow the channel, the community. Come back where everybody knows your name. Have fun. That's what we're about, having fun. Check out all the other wonderful content creators in our community, such as Cutter Historical and Sports Time Machine and many, many others. Stay safe, be smart, treat people the way you be treated. God bless. I love you all. Anthony Joshua, tremendous knockout win over Francis Ngannou. I wish Tyson Fury much luck against Usyk. I hope he knocks out Usyk. And I hope we get that Joshua Fury fight, Wembley Stadium, 100,000 strong. And we will be here to talk about it. Love you all. Peace. Bye-bye.